Excuse me, bosses. What is up, guys? Today we have something super special planned for you guys. We're gonna be training with 6-time Mr. Olympia, the one and only Chris Bumstead.
Wait, Chris Bumstead's here, bro?
Is that not you?
What the fuck, dude? You guys got me so excited,
God. Okay,
dog.
wait, run it back.
Maybe like 6-time Mr. Instagram Olympia, but that's as good as it gets.
That counts for something, right?
I guess so.
This is Eric Janicki, and if you don't know him, he's been going viral all over social media for his, how am I gonna word this? Let me run that part back.
First,
no. Massive
for that, no.
We're gonna see, as a powerlifter, I don't really have that much respect for bodybuilding training style. So we're gonna see if I can hang with Eric during, we're doing back, right? So
we'll do some buys too if you're good enough.
We'll do some back and buys. We're gonna see if I can hang with him through a workout and, all right, big dog.
So we're gonna get a nice warm-up set. So really what we're trying to target here is lower lats. So mid lat through to lower lat. So what I wanna do is actually set myself a little ways back away from the pad. So a lot of people see I shoot hips all the way in.
Yeah.
Because what you wanna think about lat is the mechanism is elbow to hip when we're really trying to engage lat. So what I'm gonna do is lean into the side I'm trying to pull with. This is a warm-up set, but I'm just gonna get that nice stretch. And the big thing is a lot of people say like, oh, your lat like turns off beyond a certain point, but you see what I do is when I reach, I bend the elbow and maintain leverage through the lat. And then what I wanna do is pull down, elbow to hip. So you see I'm not pulling, a lot of people pull here, right?
Okay.
They try to tuck it into their chest to try to be like, oh, I got the biggest rep possible because I'm pulling my elbow down.
Absolutely, yeah.
What you want to think about is pulling elbow down to like your hip pocket, right? There.
You're warming up with almost the full stack.
Yeah, just a
180-pound warm-up set, by the way.
Just a little, just cheeky.
Why I consider bodybuilding so boring is because what are some milestones you can hit during your training? Like for a powerlifter, I have a 315 bench to look forward to, PRs every single week. What do you look forward to throughout your training, or what keeps you going, I'd say, if you're not competing?
For me, I think that the biggest thing is like refinement of a craft, right? Like if I can feel like I can master a movement, or you can still progressively overload. So like this movement, like as of like a month ago, I started out at like unilateral, at about 220 or like just about, right where it goes into that higher weight. Okay. And now I'm pretty close to the stack. Okay. So you can still progressively overload bodybuilding movements.
Yeah.
It's not, there's a lot of crossover between powerlifting and bodybuilding.
Absolutely.
But bodybuilding just has a bigger focus on probably a time and retention aspect. It's not, there's more movement patterns than just powerlifting. You have obviously, different angles you can hit. So I think that's what makes bodybuilding fun and different, is that you're probably using a lot more novel stimulus, different movement patterns, using your body in a different way than you would as a powerlifter.
Absolutely. I think one of the biggest things is that like the Anatoly effect on the fitness industry thinks that somebody can get to this point without being strong, which is completely false. So TNF just recently made a video on me because when I was super naive and I was making videos, like when I first started making videos a couple years ago, I made a video saying being strong over looking strong, right? But he kind of broke it down and explained the fact that that's not really possible. You can't look like this and not be strong. So powerlifting is moving the weight from point A to point B as fast as possible, right? It's a different form of lifting, but at the end of the day, you still have to progressively overload to get stronger, and that's what bodybuilding is.
It's a skill too. It's
Absolutely.
Two parts that if you're continually deadlifting week after week after week, you're gonna get better at it, and your CNS is gonna get more primed to that movement pattern and that stress.
Yeah.
So if you are bench pressing every single week, you're gonna get better at bench pressing, and those muscle groups specifically associated with having a stronger bench are going to get stronger and bigger, but it doesn't look like a bodybuilder because, to that point, the movement patterns are more nuanced in bodybuilding. You're hitting different muscle groups, different angles, and so it's not just like, oh, I'm only doing bench press or deadlifts or squats. Lean out to this side slightly, then we're gonna do the right, and then I want you to bend the elbow slightly so you feel the lat turn on.
Okay.
And then I want you to reach forward for it.
Reach forward for it.
And keep that slight elbow bend. Now stretch. Reach up while maintaining that slight elbow bend.
Okay, wow.
And now push elbow to hip.
Oh my God. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
So push elbow forward, push, push, push. And now drive elbow to hip.
Ooh, like that?
Yep. And then big stretch, bigger stretch, bigger stretch. Good.
Oh my God.
And then give that right hand a break. Let's go left hand.
Okay.
Elbow to hip, and now reach forward for it and maintain a slight elbow bend even in stretch.
Oh my God. I've never felt lat engagement like that in my life. And this is set number 1, by the way.
So that's the main point I always tell people is that, sure, you could be lifting heavier, but if you're doing it and you're pulling it here, it's mostly gonna be bicep. And it's not saying like you're not moving the weight, but you might be using lower back, core, like so many things you can use to move a weight from A to B.
So keeping that little bend in my elbow, I really felt almost like the entirety of my lat being engaged versus my biceps taking over. It's just, I don't know, what I just did there felt like I've never felt that kind of stimulus before. Being able to control that amount of weight is unbelievable. Oh my God, maximum effort. Like I've never put in maximum effort into my training. So I have another question. Do you ever count your reps?
I rarely count my reps. I try to make sure I'm within a good rep range where it's just not ridiculous. Yeah. So it's not like, let's say 30 reps. It's not as low as 2. If I'm anywhere between that like 4 to 5 and 12 to 14. If I'm up to 14, I probably could stand to go
a little bit heavier,
with fewer reps. But I think what people don't realize is they'll be like, Eric, why do you go so slow? If I were to grip and rip, let's say back to this right arm, right? If I were to lock in nicely,
you're gonna get 100 reps.
Like, what do you want from me? Like, I could do that. If you guys want me to train like that, I can do 150 reps. I use timer and tension as a mechanism to improve form, improve acute stimulus, and reduce risk of injury, and keep me in that really optimal rep range so I don't have to do the stack for 20, 30, 50, 100 reps.
In simpler terms, he's just too strong to have bad form, basically.
Reach forward, reach for that fucking stack. There it is, there it is. I want to feel like that lat's gonna fucking rip off at the top.
Yes!
That's what I want to feel. Up, 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 drive up.
Oh my God! Holy shit, this is still the first fucking exercise, guys. Literally, like you just said, at the top, I feel like my lat is gonna rip off. Like it, oh my God, that stretch is unlike anything I've ever felt.
All right, so we're gonna do a rope pullover. I like this because you can actually like just really like create wider leverage.
Okay.
So what I wanna think about with a pullover is you wanna turn your lats on instantly, and I wanna turtle shell my back. See how I push the chest up?
Okay.
And then I'm gonna drive back, and then open up the chest to tension.
Oh my God.
See how I keep the hands nice and wide?
Yeah, I'm gonna have trouble with this one. Oh my God. It was like by rep 2, you were already like in, I guess, the kind of like the territory of semi-failure, if that makes sense. It's like you're exerting all your energy from rep 1. You see what I'm saying? It's because you're having to put so much effort into holding, you know, proper form and stuff like that, which is so different than like my training style. Like I said, I'll go in my rep ranges when it's like a deadlift set of like 8, right? The first rep I'm not even feeling. The second rep I'm not feeling it until the end of till the last like 2 or 3 reps. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I said, a completely different style because you're having to have
locking in from the very first rep.
Oh my God.
What I want to do is
come
widen out the hands first, slight elbow bend, bend more. Then I want you to feel like your lats just turning on here. And then I want you to maintain that same elbow bend. Ooh. Shoot the hands from here to here like you're putting a seatbelt on a roller coaster. Drop shoulders.
Drop shoulders.
So drop shoulders, pick chest up as you there you go. And think lats. And turn palms up slightly.
Turn palms up, palms up.
Once you come here. There you go. And then neutral.
Fuck,
palms to the floor. Stretch.
So complicated.
Pullover is a tough one.
Oh yeah.
There it is, yeah. So bend elbows slightly.
Okay, that's.
And I want you to push the elbows up to the ceiling and bend the elbows.
Okay, that's.
Right there. And now I want you to just push chest up. There you go. Stretch and then pick chest up on the way up. There you go. That's nice. I love how you're not unbending the elbows. That's perfect. A lot of people, they turn it into a row and they start to unbend the elbows as they come to that contracted position, in which case you're just kind of turning into a row. This is beautiful, dude.
I feel really bad about myself right now, just
Why?
so you know.
Like, honestly, you're picking up on this so fast. Like for somebody who hasn't done this before, like you're doing a really, really good job.
I appreciate it, but I never realized how neglected my lats were. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing for me especially, is that I'm so focused on like trying to make you proud with my form, is that I'm disregarding the weight completely.
Take your elbows to the mechanism. Maintain that elbow bend. Feel the stretch and lats, maintain it, the elbow bend. Push it, yep, yeah, there it is now, push through the floor. There you go.
It's almost like I'm so focused on keeping that tension.
I like those little form cues you're giving yourself. I see you dropping shoulders.
Yeah.
Like you're really like cueing in.
I'm really trying to.
Those are the things that you wouldn't be able to do if you're throwing the weight around.
Absolutely, yeah. So, like I'm almost like, it's like I'm losing it and then I'm exactly.
It.
It's my first session ever, like properly training bodybuilding style, and I know it's gonna take a while before I can actually perfect forms or exactly know how to engage my entire body, like what cues to follow in order. It took me so long to figure out deadlifts because it's such a complex movement and there's so many cues that you have to follow for you to actually properly, safely move the weight from point A to point B. So what I'm saying, without throwing out your back or tearing your hamstring, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
I'm trying to catch my breath. I'm not conditioned for this. You're so well spoken and you're so like, your vocabulary is like at such a high level, it makes me feel stupid. Not just training with him, but just speaking to him.
So all that stuff's so nuanced that like, I need to be a little bit more like, you know, descriptive in my vernacular to make it like actually come through correctly.
Yeah.
So
just had to flex on me real quick with the vernacular part, I think. And I'm like I'm trying to figure out the movement, but also like trying to define the words in my head simultaneously, and it's
and you're winded.
Yeah, literally. Oh my God, it's a lot. It's a lot training with this guy.
What we're doing is a deficit dumbbell row, and this one's like kind of like a little bit to set up just because I wanted to have the bench to perfect height. The reason we're gonna elevate our feet is because with a dumbbell row, I'm sure you guys experience this, you go down, you start to get towards stretch and the dumbbell hits the ground. So what we're gonna do is elevate our feet so that when we reach for that stretch with that same elbow cue I had earlier where you're keeping the elbow bend but reaching for the floor and almost forward towards the bench, and then we're gonna row up and back towards the hip. A lot of people do their dumbbell rows like this, right? Like this here, right?
Okay.
It's all upper back.
Yeah.
What I wanna be is here, forward, reach for that bench, and then pull elbow to hip.
So it's gonna end almost at my hip crease is where the dumbbell is gonna end, where the weight's gonna end.
And then we're gonna reach forward towards the bench.
Forward, okay. You know what, I was hoping to maybe hang with him on this exercise because it's a familiar one, but the way he's doing it, it's not familiar whatsoever. Like I said, I'm starting to realize as we move forward, like how much of an ego lifter I actually am. It's like ego lifter versus proper, you know, human being, I guess. I'm just so ignorant. I feel like I'm so ignorant now.
I feel like I was like, I feel terrible. I feel like I'm like doing you a disservice doing this workout because I feel like, you feel worse about yourself for whatever reason.
I mean, I do, but obviously.
The way I can put it best is if I came and did your workout, I'd feel so pathetic because it's not what I'm used to. So if we did a bench day, it probably wouldn't be terrible. Yeah. But you'd be like so much better than me.
Yeah. If you want to watch my form, let me know how I'm doing.
So you're gonna go up with both feet, and then right foot's gonna drop back.
Right foot. Okay.
When you reach towards the floor, and then pull that elbow to hip. Yep. And then chest open. There you go. Chest up, chin up. That's really nice right there. Those are beautiful, man.
Oh my God. Oh my. I got 8 reps with an 80-pound dumbbell. I don't want to be here anymore. My biggest issue with training like this is not being able to properly recover. Do you still get to the point to where the next day after like a session like this of 25, 30 sets to failure, you wake up and you can't move, or how does it work? Yeah.
We had 2 hard working sets for the pullover or pull down. 2 hard working sets of the pullover.
Yeah.
This is gonna be 2 hard sets here. We're only on 6.
True.
Super hard. We were doing unilateral, so you could argue that's 2 sets, but per side, we're basically on 6.
You're right.
And we're only gonna do 8 total for back. We're gonna finish off with 2 sets of an upper back. Done. So it's more about the refinement of your movements as opposed to like trying to push like so much volume.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So at this point, no, I won't feel like destroyed at all tomorrow. I might feel a little like, ooh, definitely trained, but we're not really aiming for what's called muscle damage, which is that kind of tertiary tier of training where you go mechanical tension, metabolic stress, which is like the pump, and then damage is like third step where it's like you've trained so hard, it's like that you can't sit on the toilet feeling.
Yeah.
They've shown that to kind of be like a little bit more of a harm than good.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people shoot for just that, like demolition to the point where you feel like you can't even move the next day, and that's really not.
That's how I've always associated failure with that feeling. You see what I'm saying? Like training to failure has to, if I can properly like sit on the toilet without like feeling like my entire lower body is gonna explode, it's like then I didn't really hit failure, achieve failure. Yeah.
It's all about getting enough mechanical tension to drive progress within so much as you can recover and train again the next day, or train a different muscle group the next day, and then get back to training that muscle group 2 to 3 days later.
See, like my natural instinct is just to grip and rip, but I really want to have as good of a form as I possibly can. So
I feel very special. Let's just go one more pull. Nice. Nice, there it is.
Really trying, man. I'm really trying to maintain form, yeah. It's like I said, I can't put any type of power down because I'm so focused on trying to actually perfect my forms. Like I can tell like exactly what you're saying, so I know when my lat's not engaged now. I can actually feel it, and I'm just trying to correct that.
So I love this one because you get that almost stretching over the top of the bench.
I think this one's gonna feel a lot more familiar for me.
Oh, I mean, this is right in your wheelhouse.
Yeah. Oh my God, just look at how 3D his upper back is. It's unreal. It like, you probably can't tell from the camera, but it's like protruding like 4 inches. Unbelievable.
That's pretty much all I got.
Wow, 60 feels heavy right now.
Then roll over it, palms down to the floor. Feel that stretch here.
Oh yeah, a little bit higher. All right. It's just like failure slaps me out of nowhere. It just like creeps up on me. In my head, I'm like, oh, I have like 25 more reps. And then randomly, I'm just stuck halfway in.
I think one thing I've actually adjusted, instead of doing like 3, 4, 5 sets of something, now dropping like 2 most of the time, maybe 3, has put so much more weight in terms of like gravity in my head on how important those sets are. Whereas I'd like sometimes do the first 2 sets, like, okay, I got 2 more, like maybe not sell out. But like then you're just kind of like, why are you even doing those sets in the first place? And if you're already warmed up. So now I've literally just started doing like 2, maybe 3 sets of something.
So slight tilt this way or that way?
Whatever you feel more comfortable with, but that's, if this was forward, you want to be slightly that way.
Okay, yeah. All right. And then navel in?
Yeah, okay. And then I want you to draw up, chest proud, and then I want you to push, like pretend like you're pushing your elbows towards the mirror. Okay. So that's gonna push the lats out. And then watch this, so push elbows forward, like keep that there, and then push elbows forward, and there you go, see how you, and then you want to push lats there. So you see, you want to keep shoulders down, there you're gonna push elbows forward, and lift elbows a bit. There you go, see that? Mm-hmm. And you don't want to think less about squeezing your biceps. Your biceps don't look any better when they're just squeezing like this first. Like look at the difference between squeezing 10,000% versus barely squeezing.
Okay, because that's why I can't hold. Okay.
So don't think about squeezing your biceps. Think about less about biceps and more about opening up and chest to the ceiling.
Okay.
Really nice posture. So arch back, chest to the ceiling. There it is, right.
This was a complicated movement for me, actually. It's weird because I've tried to hit side chest before and I could never get it down. So here, right in the middle. And then first cue is to
grab here, supinate palm.
Okay.
Supinate here.
Oh, supinate, okay. And then that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then am I flexing my lat?
You want to pull back, drop shoulder here. That's it right there. That's nice right there. We're getting
okay. All right. That was cool.
Let's do back double, and then I think
and
we'll call it for today. But back double, what I want to see is turn around. Emulate the front double. What I want to do is kick this right leg back slightly.
Just go into
elbows back, like you want to drop, like you're like elbow it, drop shoulders. I want you to feel like you're trying to squeeze your lats as hard as you can.
Okay.
So now that's your starting position. Now I want you to just pull arms up from there, and then I want you to push elbows forward. There it is, right there. Boom. Fuck yeah.
That look cool?
That look great.
Oh, yes. W. That's my first posing session ever.
But the way you kind of pulled into it and then rotated, you can see, you'll see it on the camera, your back just open up.
That's so sick. I mean, I felt like, posing is like some form of cardio, it feels like too, afterwards, but that felt so cool. Like, I feel like watching back the footage, I've never seen my body properly flexed. Like, I feel like where a lot of my like insecurities stem from is like, a lot of these influencers, excluding Eric, like only look good. Like they look crazy, but in perfect lighting with the perfect camera, with, you know, a lot of manipulation. And as a regular person and not a professional bodybuilder, that can kind of fuck with you and like throw you off a lot. But you helping me kind of like portray or show that side of myself, I feel like this session really opened me up to bodybuilding. I have a newfound respect for people like you. Bodybuilding is not as easy as I initially thought it was.
Opened you up with all 4 inches, bro.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully me and Eric are gonna go have what was it called? A Viagra sleepover?
Yeah, that's what they.
Is that what we're calling it? Cialis sleepover.
That's what the kids are doing these days.
That's what they're doing these days. So we're trying to follow the trends. Drop a like on this video if we get to 5K likes. I'll probably blow Eric's back out. Anyways.
Yeah, bro.
Thank you so much, Eric.
Get us like count, bro.
That was awesome. By the next time we train, you're gonna see a lot of development in my overall physique and my stature, and hopefully I'm gonna make you proud, Eric.
Let's go, bro. You already did.
Thank you.
Thank you,
I'm gonna end it with, excuse me, boys.